remember yesterday that I discussed the, I think, appalling ad from TUI. The TUI Billboard campaign has started up again. And I've said how unfunny it is. And not only unfunny, but long-winded, convoluted, and exactly the opposite. In other words, I think it's very bad taste, but I can handle bad taste if it's clever. This is neither clever nor witty nor short. And we were talking about the latest TUI billboards that have gone up in New Zealand as they restart their Year Right campaigns. And it read, and the TUI billboard read, "Back to being a respectable, meth-smoking, sex worker-loving doctor then," which has got 3 lines, isn't clever, and is in bad taste. All right, and they've set up a hotline which is, in actual fact, designed to amplify the bad taste, because if you complain, then you're a Karen or a Dave. Now, apparently, there is a male equivalent that the TUI advertisers have decided of Karen, and it is Dave. Do you know that?
I hadn't heard that one before.
No, neither had I.
New to me.
So there you are. So if you're a Dave, you are the male equivalent of a Karen. And they've set up the hotline basically just to pee you off, just quietly. You can ring them up and tell them, but they'll laugh at you and say, "Oh, it's another 50-plus Dave again." All right. Counterpoint that, and I wonder and how clever those stupid people are, and I'm saying clever, of course, in a pejorative sense. There is this remarkable letter in the New Zealand Herald today, published as an open letter and by Pauline Hanna's sister, her younger sister. And Pauline Hanna obviously was the victim. The alleged victim, the police and the Crown prosecution claimed in the Philip Polkinghorne trial. She was the, second wife, I think, of Philip Polkinghorne, and the lady found at the bottom of the stairs with a rope wrapped around her neck. And I thought I'd highlight this for you because it was a perspective that I haven't read. It was from the Pauline Hanna side of the family, and it was written by her younger sister, Tracy. And Tracy, I think, lives overseas, from what I could work out, with her family. And she said that her older daughter, Pauline, was a much-loved auntie of her 2 boys, and there are photos of her 2 boys published in the New Zealand Herald today with Pauline Hanna when she was visiting them at some undisclosed overseas destination. Anyhow, she wrote this, and I thought it was worthy of reading to you just very quickly, because it is a perspective that you might not have considered. She starts off by saying, "Pauline, I am sorry, I failed you, we failed you." And she talks about Pauline's mental health problems as a result of what she considered to be being overworked and underlooked after, essentially, in a high-profile and a very stressful job that we all know the background to and how this affected her mental health. And she then goes on to say, "I am sorry that in the years since your passing, your reputation has been redefined. I am sorry that the trial," and she went on to say, "in the most intimate details of your life were laid bare for public consumption, your private words recorded and uploaded in what I believe was an unforgivable act of betrayal by people you trusted. The beautiful tributes shared at your funeral have been overshadowed by the ugly aftermath that followed." You can understand that, can't you? And then this is the next bit. And this is the bit that might surprise you. It should certainly shock the police and the Crown Prosecution Service in this country. "I am sorry," writes Tracy Hanna, Pauline's younger sister, "that the trial became clickbait in our post-truth Trumpian world. A world where facts are dismissed and science is treated as optional. The truth buried beneath the imaginations of those who cast themselves as heroes in the murder mystery that they plotted. If I hadn't known you both so well, and presumably this is both Pauline and Philip Polkinghorne, I might have been swayed by the whispers of foul play. I considered the possibility. Philip Polkinghorne had been selfish and unfair, and I wish you'd had the strength to move on. But the forensic evidence, ? There is none. And despite my belief in the principle of the Bill of Rights Act, which presumes innocent until guilt is proved, Prosecutor Brian Dickey quite astonishingly scorned me. Inevitably, the resolute duty grasped their responsibility and united around the only verdict possible. Your husband has been punished. He's been interrogated, vilified, humiliated. His life laid bare for the baying crowds and trolls to judge, convinced of his guilt simply because they don't like the man. And it finishes finally with, as we prepare to say one final goodbye, I hope more than anything that you may finally find the peace that eluded you in your later life. Rest now, Pauline. Rest in peace. And so it is an angry letter written to do with the police investigation, the prosecution of Philip Polkinghorne, and particularly, obviously, the media coverage and the social media response to that particular trial. And I guess she would include the year right Tui Billboard as part of the continuing insult to her older sister, Pauline Hanna. But I'm interested in your reaction to that. It speaks for itself, really. Sometimes the truth does.